Hi everyone, and welcome to another Scrapbook Generations process video. You'll see the photo of the page I'm going to be doing. These are some pictures of when my sister went off to college. That photo that I'm pointing to, I'm going to use that journaling card instead because I only had these certain photos, and I did want to tell the story of why it was so special of a trip beyond the fact that she was going to college. There's the Prima Edge inker I'm going to use. I think I'm going to switch to the Tim Holtz mini ink pads for my edging. These Prima ones are falling apart on me. I've showed you in another video. And I really like my cat's eye ones for the colors, and I can use them for stamping because I use the pigment ink. But they take forever to dry, which I knew. I just didn't expect them to take that long. And I always end up with them all over my hands. So I think I'm going to do the Tim Holtz mini ink pads. So you see me here start laying things down. I didn't realize my camera had died. That's why there's two pieces already on the page. As normal, you'll see me use different adhesives for different size papers. You'd think after all these years of scrapping, I'd know, though, not to put my adhesive on top of my page. You saw me rub some off there. There you see me use my Martha Stewart glue pen. If anybody has any ideas on where to get those, now that Michaels no longer carries the Martha Stewart stuff, I'd appreciate your tips because I really like that pen versus the Zig two-way pen. I find this comes out easier, and for me it holds better. So I'm going to start laying down my photos. The first one is of my parents and my sister. When we dropped her off, she went to Lancaster Bible College in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. She has graduated and is now married. So these photos are from several years ago. On these layouts, I do use my T-ruler to put my first photo down because the instructions do tell you where to, how far to put them from the bottom. That way I know all my elements are going to fit. And this was part of the Super Savers Sketch Club, and you got, 3 out of this set of paper. So since I know which embellishments I'll be using, since this was the last page that I was doing, I will go ahead and put them down right away. I normally wait till the end and then see what embellishments in the pack are used on what layouts and can I use extra. But like I said, since this was the last one, I knew what I had left. I do use, with most of my layouts, 2 or 3 different size pop dots. That way it has, different dimension and interest on each part of the page. Some I pop up, some I don't. Some I use thicker pop dots, etc. My favorite are the Stampin' Up! Ones and the foam tape from Scotch. I do keep some ones from Hobby Lobby on hand, though, just for, backup in case I forget to order my Stampin' Up! Ones or I run out of Scotch tape. I'd love to hear where you guys get your Scotch tape, your foam tape if you use it, because the rolls I get from Hobby Lobby they're gone in no time. So I'd like to find something a little bit bigger and thus, maybe a little more economical on the wallet. So here I'm starting on the second page. See, bigger piece, I use my ATG. Now you're going to see me start tapping the desk in a minute. And what that is I'm looking at the picture and the sketch and realizing that when I cut all these apart, I either threw a piece away or cut them incorrectly. And I don't have one of the strips, that green strip, for the page. So I'm going to improvise, and I think it still turns out really well. That's what I like about these, kits is I didn't use a photo where they said I used some journaling. I cut incorrectly and used, was able to still make the layout look really nice. The only thing, see, there's that adhesive again. The only thing is sometimes it is hard to change the orientation of the photos, so I don't use these up as quickly because I don't always have the correct orientation. Like I have to spend a decent amount of time looking for events that can match not only the theme of the paper, but the orientation of the photos. Like obviously at Valentine's Day, I wouldn't use a Valentine's kit for a birthday party, so I have to go looking for Valentine's photos that match the orientation. So there, I think I have all the papers down now, and I'm going to start putting the photos on this side. That one on the top, if you can't tell, is my our son tackling my sister. The bottom photo was when we dropped her off, and that top photo was the first time she came home to visit. Her college was only an hour and a half away, but she had friends and things to do and papers to write, so she didn't get to come home every weekend. And the two of them are just so very close. And now that she's married, he loves her husband just as much as he loves her. So we were very blessed by that. I'm sure it's overwhelming for her husband every once in a while because he just wants to play with him and her nonstop when they are here. They still live in Lancaster, and we are actually going out to visit them this weekend. We haven't told him yet, though, because it'll be every day. Are we going to see TT yet? Are we going to see TT yet? So it'll be quite a big surprise when we start traveling. He is very good with directions, so we won't tell him that we're going. We'll just tell him we're going on a surprise, and he'll figure it out, not even halfway there. He'll go, we're going to see TT. So I'm so glad he has that relationship with her. There is never enough people that can love your kids. And people told me that before I had kids, and I never believed them, but now it is so true. So my journaling talks about what I just told you about, their relationship and him being so excited to see her. And now I'm putting in the final embellishments here. I'm looking, since the photo of the page didn't show exactly what was on the right-hand side, it cut it off. I was thinking about how I wanted to do that and what I wanted to pop up versus what I didn't. It ends up being a really nice cluster down there. I really liked these papers. Jillibean Soup, I believe they are. I think it's cold avocado soup. I actually have that kit. So you'll see that if you follow my blog, you'll see that again. I know I used it on a layout at the end of March about my parents. Completely different look, I think, because I used my silhouette and made some cutouts. So be sure to go over to my blog and check that out so you can see different ways to use your paper collections. And in a minute, I'm going to show you what I had left of the embellishment pack after I did the 3 layouts for Super Savers. You'll see they really make very good use of the embellishments. There is very little left. Yep, there I start pulling them out. Trying to use up the last of the stars and hearts because you never want to let those little pieces go to waste. But there's all that is left. I think it's 4 or 5 pieces, so, and some tiny little strips of paper. So here's the both sides, and I hope you enjoyed my process video, guys. I'll link to the ones that go with this, and I'll see you later.